My name is Michelle Benson. This is my business. It's called Michelle Salon. I've been a business owner for, this year is 15 years. So I went looking for an apprenticeship. So what I did was I walked through town and asked every hairdresser I passed if they needed an apprentice, and they said no. And eventually I ended up in Hillbrow, Pretoria Street, and I walked into a barber shop and the man said, yes, you can start now. And that's how I basically got into it. Started like that, but I didn't stay there long. I worked there for about 2 months, and the qualified that was working there said, this is not what you wanted to do. Essentially, you need to do ladies hairdressing. They don't do ladies hairdressing here. You need to go to a ladies hairdressing salon. So we both moved to another salon, and I worked there for a year, but I didn't go to college, and I really wanted to go to college because college I knew was the thing that would cement my qualifications. So after a year of working in Hillbrow, I found another apprenticeship job in town, Metropolitan Building, Fox Street. And the lady that interviewed me said, no, you have to go to college. And so that's how I started getting my career on track. I qualified within 2 years, and then I worked there for 5 years, and eventually I moved to the north and worked 5 years at a salon, the post office center, until eventually I had my child, and then I needed to move. Companies that we get our products from, they will always look for reps. You can go into training. You can train hairdressers how to use the products you sell. You can go into training them how to do coloring or cutting or foiling or selling products. Selling products, not everybody is really good at selling things, but our whole trade is about selling. So whether you're selling a look, then the products that must support the look. You understand? Then there's a science behind everything. So you try to give your client the best education, and in that way you help yourself, you help them. So you can branch off into repping, you can branch off into training. So ideally you need to have enough clientele, because to own a shop you have to be able to maintain the shop, make sure you can make rent, pay your suppliers, pay your staff. So yes, you do need to have a clientele, ideally. Ideally, you should be able to. I must make it rain, in other words. I must keep it going. So yeah, that is like a very big deal. It's not a passive way of earning money. Like, you know how like somebody would buy a salon and they would not have any hair experience. I would struggle with that because I am in the trade. I know my craft. I know what it takes to hold the client, to earn the client, to maintain relationship in order to pay for everything and make sure that everybody's still okay. That takes, you need a clientele. You can't do it like out of nothing, because it's really hard to, people buy the service. So it takes a little bit of psychology, being interested in what they do, because it's not just what you look like. It's, you have an image in your head and you want to transfer that image to me so that we come to a point where you look the way you imagined. You understand? So it's quite something. So sometimes we have to be really clear about what the client wants and not just impose something onto them. I can say, oh, you look nice with reddy, or you look nice with blondie. But if you are not sold on that, the same with it doesn't suit you but you really want it, I would give you what you really want, and then if it really doesn't look so good, then I say, okay, can we please go this way? And because of that, there's a lot of trust, client, hairdresser relationship.